Now, welcome back to Makaut CSE. In this video, we continue our journey to the environmental science with chapter 2, the ecology. Ecology is the study of interaction between the organisms and their environment, forming the foundation of environmental science. We will explore the ecosystem, their components, and how they function. So, you will learn about the different ecosystem types like the forest, grassland, deserts, aquatic systems, and the unique Sundarbans mangroves. We will also discuss the food chain, food web, essential biochemical cycles like the carbon, nitrogen. Lastly, we will dive into biodiversity, its significance, threats, and conservation efforts. This chapter is crucial for understanding how life sustains itself on Earth. And stay with us for detailed explanation. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Makaut Smasher. So let's begin our journey. So at first, the system. A system consists of components interacting with each other. An open system, you can say, they exchange both energy and matter with its surrounding, like a river. A closed system only exchanges the energy but not matter, like the earth, except the metatory impacts, like you can say ecology. You can say it is the study of the relationship between the organisms and their environment. It helps to understand the biodiversity, resource distribution, and the ecosystem dynamics. Organisms interact with abiotic and biotic components to maintain the ecological balance. Ecosystem function through the energy flow and nutrient cycling. Understanding the ecological principles is crucial for conservation and sustainability. Human activities disturb the ecological systems, causing the environmental degradation, and environmental engineers use ecological knowledge for population control and habitat restoration. Ecology guides sustainable resource management for future generation. So now, ecosystem. An ecosystem consists of biotic components means plants, animals and microorganisms, and abiotic components means air, water, soil, temperature. So ecosystems are categorized into natural and artificial. They function through energy flow from producers to the consumers and decomposers. Ecosystem maintain the ecological balance by recycling the nutrients and the supporting biodiversity. The terrestrial ecosystem include like the forest, grassland and desert, while aquatic ecosystem consist of fresh water, marine and mangroves. So functions of ecosystem include climate regulation, oxygen production, water purification and carbon sequestration. So disruption like deforestation and pollution affect the ecosystem's stability. Conservation strategies include afforestation and sustainable land use. Healthy ecosystems support the life and the economic development. So now ecosystem. Forest ecosystem provides the oxygen, store the carbon and support the diverse species. They are classified as tropical, temperate and boreal forest. Grassland like the savannas and prairies supports the herbivores and act as grazing lands. Desert ecosystem found in the arid region have drought resistant flora like cacti and you can say the camels. Aquatic ecosystem include like the freshwater, rivers, lakes and marines, ocean, coral reef systems. Freshwater bodies provide the drinking water, while marine ecosystem regulate the climate and support the fisheries. Mangroves like the Sundarbans protect the coastlines, prevent the soil erosion and support the unique biodiversity. Human activities threaten this ecosystem through the deforestation, pollution and overexploitation. So conservation efforts include reforestation, marine protected areas and sustainable resource management. So preserving the ecosystem ensures environmental and economic stability. So now the food chain and food web. A food chain represents the linear flow of energy from producer to consumer and decomposer. Example like the grass to grasshopper, to the frog to snake and eagle. Each level in a food chain is a trophic level. Food web consists of multiple interconnected food chain, offering a more realistic representation of nature. A rabbit can be eaten by both fox and hawk. Food chains are classified into grazing food chain and detritus food chain. So, energy transfer follows the 10% rule, where only 10% of the energy is passes to the next trophic level. Top predators regulate the population control and maintain the ecological balance. Human intervention like the deforestation and overfishing disrupt the food chain. So conservation efforts aim to restore the ecological stability by protecting the keystone species. So biochemical, or you can say biogeochemical cycles. So biogeochemical cycles describe the movement of elements through air, water, soil and organisms. The oxygen cycle ensures the atmospheric oxygen balance through the photosynthesis and respiration. The carbon cycle regulates the CO2 level with carbon stored in fossil fuels and oceans. The nitrogen cycle converts the atmospheric nitrogen into the usable forms via nitrogen fixation, crucial for plant growth. The phosphorus cycle supports the DNA and ATP production, cycling through rock, soil and living organisms. The sulfur cycle involves volcanic activity and microbial processes affecting the acid rain formation. Human activities like the burning fossil fuels disrupt these cycles, leading to pollution and climate change. So engineers develop sustainable solutions like the carbon capture and wastewater treatment. Restoring the biogeochemical cycles is essential for ecological stability. So biodiversity. Biodiversity refers to the variety of life forms in an ecosystem. It includes genetic diversity, species diversity, and ecosystem diversity. Biodiversity supports the ecosystem stability, food security, and medical advancement. It provides the ecosystem services like the pollination, climate regulation, and soil fertility. High biodiversity ensures the resilience against environmental changes. Rainforest and coral reefs host the highest biodiversity. Human activities like the deforestation and pollution and habitat destruction threaten the biodiversity. So, conservation strategies include habitat protection, afforestation, and wildlife. So, biodiversity hotspots need to urgent protection to prevent the mass extinction. So, preserving the biodiversity ensures the sustainable ecological and economic development. So now, endemic species and biodiversity hotspot. Endemic species are unique to a specific region and not found elsewhere. Example like Asiatic lion in the Gir forest, India. They are crucial for maintaining the ecosystem stability and genetic diversity. Biodiversity hotspots are regions with high species diversity but facing the severe threats. Example like the Western Ghats and the Indo-Burma region. These hotspots are prioritized for conservation due to the habitat loss. Endemic species are the vulnerable to extinction due to the habitat destruction and climate change. So conservation measures include the wildlife reserves, breeding programs and ecosystem restoration. Protecting the endemic species ensures the genetic diversity and ecological balance. Engineers contribute by designing the sustainable land use plans. So, endemic species play a vital role in the evolutionary and ecological processes. So, threats to biodiversity and conservation strategies. Biodiversity faces threats like the deforestation, habitat loss, and climate change, and invasive species. So, deforestation reduces the forest cover, affecting the carbon storage and species survival. Pollution disrupts the aquatic and terrestrial ecosystems, harming the biodiversity. Climate change alters the temperature and rainfall patterns, affecting the migration and breeding. Poaching threatens endangered the species like the tigers and rhinos, invasive species outcompete the native species, leading to ecological imbalance. So, conservation strategies include wildlife protection laws, habitat restoration, sustainable resource management. Global efforts like the Convention on Biological Diversity promote biodiversity conservation. Engineers develop eco friendly technologies to reduce the environmental impact. Sustainable practices ensures the biodiversity preservation for future generation. So let's wrap up our chapter 2 ecology. We explored the ecosystem, food chain, biochemical cycles, and the importance of biodiversity. So understanding the ecological principles helps us to protect the environment and maintain the balance in the nature. So in the next video, we will dive deeper into environmental science topics. Remember, every small action we take impact biodiversity and ecosystem. So engineers and scientists play a crucial role in developing the sustainable solutions. So if you found this video informative, please like, share and subscribe and stay tuned for the next chapter where we continue our environmental science journey. Thank you for watching and keep learning with us.